it's Vicky, and today we're diving into something special. Did you know that Australians and Irish folk share a deep love for horses, making them like, I don't know, our long-lost convict cousins? It's a fact. So today, we're joined by the incredible Suzin Wells, a paradressage maestro from Down Under, bringing you a tale that'll tickle your funny bone and perhaps have you thinking your global equestrian connections. Get ready for a blend of humour, horses, and a sprinkle of international kinship. It's the Paraful podcast. Just before we dive into today's inspiring episode, something special for you. Our friends at Nay Nonsense, the fantastic equestrian brand, are offering exclusive discount just for you, our valued listeners. Use code PARAEQUESTRIAN at naynonsense.com for special savings. Happy shopping, and now let's jump into today's incredible episode. I'm so glad you got up for your alarm, because I was panicking about it all day, and I'm thinking, oh God, this woman's getting up at 3 a.m. for me.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
How do I get my picture up, or can't you see it?
Right, so you press on the screen, right? You press on your picture in front of you, and then it'll give you a little camera thing. It'll have a cross over the camera, so then you take the cross off the camera.
Well, hang on, we better fix the hair. There we go.
I straightened mine.
Hair's done.
I'll put the mascara on.
Awesome. Hello. How are we? Live television, and I've got bed hair.
No,
look at you. You look beautiful.
Oh, thanks. That was like, me £20 Tresemme hair straightener.
Yoo-hoo.
You're looking grand yourself anyway.
Yeah, well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm allowed to.
Well, I think you're doing pretty good for 3 in the morning.
Thank you.
So yeah. Hi. So for the 3 people that are in here now, thanks for coming in. Please continue to like the live. Please continue to share the live. We'll go now into the Paraful podcast section. And then at the end, we will answer questions and stuff. So, reminder, please keep liking the live throughout. Please keep sharing it. It's very important for both of us. Very important to get across that powerful message, and you'll be doing us a great favour doing that. Okay, so welcome, Paraful crew. Before we dive into today's incredible episode here with the lovely Suzin Wells, our friends at naynonsense.com are giving you an exclusive discount. Just head to naynonsense.com and use the code PARAEQUESTRIAN at the checkout for some sweet savings, 10% off. And we're going to get into the good stuff now. Suzin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, how you going? My name's Suzin Wells. I'm a para-equestrian grade 4 FEI rider in Australia. And I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to say g'day from WA, as we say it over here.
Legend.
Yeah.
I have more than a few beers in Paris now.
I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking, shouldn't we be drinking champagne in Paris?
That's a really good point, actually. And I love that champagne more than I love the beer anyway. My plan for Paris is, because I hear the accommodation's atrocious.
Yeah,
my plan is I'm gonna hire a nice camper van and drive from England to France.
Oh wow, that's a good idea.
Right? And then I can go to whatever event it is, pack up outside of it.
That's a good idea.
Right? I'll only have to pay the parking. Yeah, road trip. Good. This one down here, I've been trying to convince her. Vicky is a blind para rider.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's amazing. And the horse is amazing too. This horse halts, square halts when you take it.
It's amazing. I just, ever since I've sort of been involved in the para community over here, I am just in awe of how amazing blind riders ride, especially blind riders or people with cerebral palsy, or how they can just communicate with their horses on such a different level than we do.
I've ridden her horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a whole level of respect, like the whole level of respect I have for how they accomplish what they're doing is just wow.
And then
I've only got no legs, but I can see.
My legs don't work, mate. Honestly, I begged the doctor a couple of weeks ago, because I don't know whether you know, if they sent me to the glue factory, I'd be fuck all used to them. Shit glue.
Yeah.
Nothing sticks me together, and I'm just
okay. So you're connective. I was reading up about it actually. It's not a nice thing to have.
I begged him to take my legs off. I was like, there's really no point in having anything below my knee because it dislocates. We're here in a situation, I'm stuck in the wheelchair again. At least you could plop some prosthetics on and they wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with those. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, there's also every disability, I guess, has a set of problems that comes with it that we don't think about when we don't have our problem. I say to people, well, what's it like? And I said, well, like for those people who have had children, it's like you're not really interested in pregnancy or what's happening to your body until you're pregnant. So for able-bodied people, they just think that they just think of they don't think of the difficulties that come that way, like
no, I don't
dealing with heat and dealing with all stuff. It's like really hot over here at the moment.
Oh.
Over here, and when I say heat, I'm talking 35 degrees. There's a competition on in Perth this weekend. Unfortunately, I couldn't go because my horse was a little bit crook during the week, so he had to have some antibiotics, so he couldn't compete this weekend. But I'm glad that I'm not riding because it's so hot. It's 36 degrees. And I probably would really struggle riding in that temperature. I mean, it is in an indoor arena, but still, your warm-ups outside. So there's so many different complications that happen in that, like riding.
And that's what Paraful is about, addressing each of these kind of, I hate calling them barriers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're definitely obstacles.
Let's just think this obstacle could be easily completed and or, made more accessible by, I don't know, getting some big industrial fans.
Yeah, we do have them. And it's still hot. It's they have massive big fans coming on, but then they don't always turn them on because it costs so much to run them as well. So it's really difficult. Or you'll have
to get on board with the solar power just for the fans for you.
Well, you'll have organisers say, well, a number of the riders just have to ride outside in the heat, and then they scratch because it's just too hot for them. And then you'll have the whole, they don't support the event. And it's well, people with disabilities, often, there's so many things that have to align to get on and ride a horse, to warm up a horse, to train a horse, and they've also.
There's a huge amount into it at the minute. I had an argument the other week with one of my former trainers. She's my best friend as well, and I love her. And it was over Murphy, and she was like, "You should just give him away." And I'm thinking, "Are you nuts?" I said, "I've not spent 3 years training this horse to do specific jobs just to give it away."
Yeah.
So this is not happening.
No. Why would you give it away?
Just give it away. I know.
There's no such thing, there's no such, it just isn't in my DNA to do that. It's just not, I don't go through what I go through to have a boring life that doesn't have goals. That you know,
right,
like
right.
that's my thing. That's what it's in my genes. It's part of my DNA. It's not
So
what's
like,
something I don't have a choice.
you
This is who I am.
when we like talking about your typical day, then, because you are like competing in that at the minute. So how do you balance everything out?
Well, I just competed at the National Dressage Championships. So I'm on the west coast of Western Australia. That's on the east coast. So I had to put my horse on a truck. He travelled for 3 days. We went through it. I got sponsored to go over. So it was a combined horse transport that took my horse over, and they sort of feed and water the horses every 4 hours, and then they have a stopover in South Australia in Adelaide, and they stay there for 10 hours, and then they drive over to Victoria. So it's 3 days full on driving. So we did, yeah, well, most people do it in 5 days, and when you're going over for a competition, you're following a horse, you've got to go straight over, because you've got to pick your horse up. We took a forward drive and a horse float and put our horses on a truck and went over there. And then we were over there for 2.5 weeks before we competed. And
that seems sensible, because then you're kind of acclimatizing the horses to that.
Yeah,
area.
well, it's actually cooler over there than here, so that was good. But like, it can get really cold over there compared to here. When I say really cold, I'm not talking about you're really cold. I'm talking about our really cold. So
I wish I took my cousin's offer to go live with them instead of going to Canada, because now I'm thinking I've got all these diseases. A bit of sunshine wouldn't have killed me, and I probably would have stayed too.
Oh, like, yeah. So I totally get it. And then so we took 3 horses over altogether. Sharon Jarvis, who's a 3-time Paralympian, and she's going for Paris. She's actually leaving to on this Monday to go to the UK, and she's test riding some horses over there. And then
Well, you can tell her that I'll go and have a coffee with her should she be.
Oh yeah, she would absolutely love that. She would love that, and I definitely can hook you up with her. So she'll do some training with Sophie Wells as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we've been lucky enough to have Sophie over to Western Australia and do clinics and that with us, which has been fantastic, because I have so much respect for that young lady. She's just a really good coach, so down to earth, and just knows her stuff, really knows her stuff, and she just treats everyone. She's got compassion, she's got kindness, and she's an absolutely brilliant rider, obviously, for Team GB. So, having her over here was great. So she's going over there to see them. I think she's coming back.
Nikki just said in the comments, Suzin, let's go help her horse shop. So
yes. She would love that. She would love that.
But she's got instant mates, and we both.
I've been on the pubs, I must be going to the expensive horse shop, because I was looking online last night for is it Fairfax and Favour? I'm like, oh my God.
They're all nuts for it.
I can't afford it, but I
can't afford any of the blingy stuff, and I can't be bothered with it either. I've got a
so I ended up looking at beanies and headscarves and stuff.
Shall I show you my favourite beanie? Shall I go and get it? Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to edit this out later, but it's worth it. I always forget when I'm going backwards that there's things behind me.
Crashing.
Right.
All right.
I had to.
You're going to model it for us? Oh, wow.
I love our little beanies.
That's
They're really cute.
Cool.
Aren't they cute?
I love that. Right?
Yep.
I think we should get
Probably
those.
my favourite. Well, maybe I'll send you one in the post. And then
Oh,
you can
that's
send
really
me a
cool.
Team Oz one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely send you one. Yeah. Yep.
Actually,
So
it's really nice. We've got Regatta to do the training jackets and that.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Good quality.
Ah,
I was very
yeah.
impressed with it. I was.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
said she'll send you a hat as well. So then you have
Ah.
a Team GB one too.
Oh wow, that would be fantastic. Very spoilt. Very spoilt. So we did that, competed over there, and I got national. I think I got reserve champion in grade 4.
That's bloody
I
brilliant.
missed out on the national championships by 1.3%. So, obviously we'll be back to, redo it next year. Yeah. But then it's a lovely big trip,
Every dressage rider's like OCD. I'll do it until I do it right.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. No, you're just like, people are like, oh, you didn't really gloat very much. And I'm like,
because I could have done it better.
But I do appreciate it. Like, I do appreciate it, and it was a fantastic, it was my first nationals. So it was a fantastic time. So I really enjoyed it.
I think it's fantastic. Do you know what I mean? And I think, it's really Paraful stuff. So it is,
Absolutely.
So now we got onto the little dressage niggles, okay? I want to talk more about these moments where people might roll their eyes and think dressage misconceptions. Some folks just think it's tricks that we do, that it's not a deep-rooted skill in a historical discipline at all. Given the rich history of dressage, what are your thoughts on the misconceptions? It's tricks.
Well, I guess I always say to people, why is it that I seem to get so incredibly dirty when I'm riding, wearing a pair of white joddies? I cannot take the coveralls off until like 3 seconds before I get on. And apparently the reason we wear white jodhpurs or breeches is because back in the day, historically, we all had servants, and we didn't need to wear any. We could wear white because everything would be done for us, and all we did was pop on and ride. And it's quite funny because I've heard I've heard criticisms of people and para riders because we just get on trained horses. Someone else trains our horse for us, and we just get on and ride. Whereas I don't have that, and I'm not privileged in that way to have someone. I do have my coach ride my horse, which is fantastic. But I've had him since he was a 3-year-old. He's now 14, and obviously at 3 he knew nothing. So I've been riding him my whole life.
And I mean, you know what? Actually,
and learning more. It's something it's so difficult.
Your story resonates with another amputee I know. Their horse, also amazing. Made me think, do I need to just stop with the leg aids altogether because I can't feel my legs, so there's really kind of no point. But that's another tangent for another day. But Lucinda Blackiston, who was the chairman of PEI, done the same thing. Trained it as much as she could, and then had some professional input, but has done most of it herself. And I will tell you, it is to a very, very high standard. Do you know what I mean?
And, it takes years, and it takes so much time, and it takes so much consistency. I don't
see how it could be tricks if it takes that long to do it. I think
exactly.
I was talking to Vicky the other day because this comment was made to me, and I thought no better time because the Irish and the Aussies, we all love them all. I said to her, I said, okay, well, a leg yield, one side of your body is about 7 to 8 aids you're given. So you're going to double that because you have two sides of your body. So that's about 14 minimum that you are giving to make one step. Yeah, and you have to continue that on across the arena, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't understand how people think, oh, you're just doing flat work, it's easy. It's not. And it's about looking like you're not moving at all and having a huge amount of stamina and
Oh yeah.
core stamina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah. Oh
core,
yeah.
especially
And
with us
using
that the legs do not work. That is the only thing
and
keeping us there.
and using your body weight in certain directions and ways and angles to help move that horse across into that leg yield, or and that type of thing. And talking about the stamina, I had my left leg amputated just this June gone. I got sepsis, so I had my first surgery in April this year. So I'd already lost my left leg in 21. And then I had, lucky enough, got sepsis in my other leg. I had I think I probably carry that bug or something with me. I'm not sure, but it was Anzac Day, which is Australian New Zealand Army Corps. It's like a big holiday, and we celebrate Anzac. So that day, and I was feeling really unwell and sick, and then I ended up in hospital, and then within like 3 weeks, I had a couple of months, after having IV antibiotics, blah, 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 and had my leg amputated on the 20th of June this year. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to go to the nationals. I'm not going to be able to do this. And, my coach said, why not?
And I was like, worse than that, like thinking in that moment, because you can't control your body, right? You couldn't control what happened to it at the time.
Yeah.
And it's trying to positively reframe the situation, which can be very difficult.
I think, what the person you have to turn into to get over that physical, because I hadn't been riding at all. So I only went back riding 8 weeks before the state championships here, and then 10 weeks, 10 or 12 weeks after riding, and then to the national dressage championships. And to just be there was, huge for me, because there were so many hurdles to get used to, like the fact that you now are a bilateral amputee and you ride horses, and getting on your horse and having, you lose so much fitness. As soon as you have a week off, it's another bloody month of fitness you lose. So it's like, if you work it that way. So, I remember the Thursday before the competition, it was on a Tuesday, and I was training in the arena, and I just struggled so much. And I just had a meltdown, and I just went, I shouldn't be here. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not ready. And then I think something happened inside me, and from that, I turned a corner, and I just really said to myself, believe in yourself. Because if you have that mindset where you believe you can do it, that's sort of 80%, and and then I was able to, look stronger, be stronger, able to stay with my horse. Because when you can't do it, you're behind the movement. If you're not fit enough, you can't move when your horse is moving. My horse is a very big moving horse. He's a 17.
Do you want to introduce your horse? Because I've seen a few videos, and he's a beauty.
Yeah, he's a 17-hand Frisian warm blood. He takes a 7-foot rug, horse rug. He's massive, and he's
massive long back on him.
Yeah, and he's really well muscled and very fit, and just the kindest guy you'll ever meet. And He's gentle as well as fierce. He's bold as well as, you know, a bit timid sometimes. But he's got so many facets to his personality that I just love the connection that I have with this horse. Like, it's just like sometimes I just live for that, you know, like when you go through and a lot of
I
riders.
think, like, I see what you're saying, because I experienced that as well. Like, I am neurodiverse, so emotionally, my horses are a bit of a crutch, right? Because it helps me process. And when you've had so much trauma, this is what Murphy's job's going to be. Hence why I had an argument. Is equine facilitated learning and psychotherapy, because I do mental health. I've been doing mental health nursing for a bit, but I've taken a break because we're at a bit of a crossroads. But that whole EFL that they give to us free willingly, because they mirror what we are thinking, feeling, whatever. Do you know what I mean? They react to it, so therefore we can recognize it and be able to regulate it in a way, you know? And I think for us as paras, I think there's a huge understanding and respect between the horse and the rider. And
it's a deep connection. It is a deep connection.
Real deep thing. And they see that you're not like a normal able-bodied person.
And they notice.
They're
there's
really
a photo.
empathetic. Yeah.
Yeah. And they know, I think they map you as well, like, because when I remember going into the paddock in my wheelchair when I lost my first leg, and I've got a young filly as well, and the first thing they did was sniff around where my leg has gone and, you know, have a look and feel around with their nose and have a little tickle. I'm like, okay, she's different, you know, like they worked all that out. It was really quite cool what they, you know,
they have the mind
the way
of a 12-year-old.
The way they sussed out what was happened, where I'd been, you know.
Yeah, they have the mind of a 12-year-old, and they can hear your heartbeat from 4 to 8 meters away.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
Hugely empathetic creature.
Yeah. And they, you know, horses read intent. Like, they can see what your intentions are and they understand it. And I'll go back to saying, you know, when I did have those dark times, you know, I would just go and get a towel and my phone and a glass of water or a water bottle and just lay down in my paddock, and my horse would just come up and we would just sort of like just be together, no expectations from each other, just sort of, you know, he would be nuzzling me and, you know, and all that. And I just love sitting there and connecting that way.
I think for your horsemanship, right? Because dressage is about horsemanship, and I'm very
100%.
keen on it, is that those moments, my favourite thing is going in the stable, sitting in the corner and just chatting shit to them. Because Murphy loves a good conversation. Tina loved a good conversation. Rest in peace. You know, like it is building a conversation between you and your horse, whether it's in the field or if it's in the stable. Hopefully it's good weather, because we're in the UK. Nobody's doing that outside right now. There is a lot of mud. But yeah, you're right. It is a huge deal to do that. And I think, and Vicky commented on this as well, that a lot of owners are disconnected with their horse. They ride it and they think that that's their right to. Realistically, this is what you should be doing before you think about getting on its back. Have you spent enough hours observing it and its behaviours and what it likes or what it doesn't like or what its gaits are like, right? Because all these things play into the second you get on the back of it.
Oh, yeah.
How does it react to a snapped branch? Because that plays into when you're on the back of it out hacking.
Yep, totally.
You know, misconceptions in dressage. First and foremost, it's not
I
technique.
find
Secondly, it's about horsemanship.
I find that taking my horse out to the beach, which I'm not sure you guys do much over there, but I live not far from the beach, and there's a big forest where we have these chewit trees, which are like, hundreds of years old. But out in that forest is a mob of kangaroos, like loads of kangaroos. So when you first take your horse out there, they turn into a cutting horse. They've like kangaroo there, kangaroo here, and they get frights all over the place. And it really helps desensitize them to those, experiences where they just have to work out what's going on and react to things. And they stop reacting after a while. You'll be sitting there riding your horse and there'll be this massive big male kangaroo, and they're so muscly and so big, and they're just watching you as you ride past, and you're like, I'm keep going. But they do actually, they can attack, like the big male kangaroos can attack you if you were to threaten them. But so, you have that respect, but it's really, great for competition horses to get out, go, like when you call it hacking out, that's what we do when we hack out. It's like going to the beach or going to the forest and just riding amongst all that.
We'll be taking a holiday over there fairly soon.
Oh yeah, you're welcome to come. Absolutely, yeah. We'll have a horse for you. Don't worry,
mate. You said kangaroos, and I was like, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Kangaroos, sunshine, joints that don't hurt. Sounds like a delight.
Yeah, well, if the shoe fits, then you do it, don't you? So you better come over.
What? I'm gutted now, because before I got diagnosed with everything, because Australia's pretty hot on the not taking people with disabilities for visas, I'm gutted now. I should have gone to my cousins when they offered.
Oh, 100%. You can tell Vicky she's more than welcome to come over here and train.
Oh, mate, I'm the driver. I'm the guide person. My eyes work. My legs might not, but my eyes do. So, me and her are a package deal.
Yeah. I'll definitely I can organise that, and they can do some training with Sharon Jarvis as well over here.
Oh, it sounds wicked. She'd love that. Vicky's actually the 2-time national champion here in the UK.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That'll be so cool. Definitely work on that, Vicky, and yourself.
I will. The two
Vickies.
Both of us need a holiday.
Yeah. 100%.
So, what's your kind of secret for keeping that positive vibe going? Because obviously we've talked that you've had lots of barriers.
Yeah.
How do you keep that energy level up there? Because,
I think it's really remembering your why you're doing it. Why, there are so many obstacles in our sport, whether it be a political thing or a, management type of thing or a sport association type of thing. And just remember why you're doing it. Like I ride because I love riding horses. I love the sport of dressage, regardless of who's doing it. So I just make my sport about me and my horse. I don't make it about anyone else. And, obviously I support other people, and I appreciate other people, but it's remembering your why and remembering to believe in yourself and remembering that if you do have an obstacle, it's just for now. It's until you work out that solution, until that then it's gone. You need to think, okay, I'm just in the middle of a process. I know that I can get from here to here, but that's that process in the middle that's causing me that problem. And I know of all the things that we've been through in our lives, of all the things that we've done, this is just another one of those things, and we can work this out and that solution out in that process. And I think it's really important that you set goals for yourself, small goals, medium goals, big goals.
The funny thing that you said is that's very similar to what Emma Golding said last week. She is a paraplegic. Yeah.
Yep.
She's the European champion for carriage driving. Emma's great.
Yep.
She's also a mindset coach. But she said, you know, her motivation was competing. I can't get sick or hurt or have time for stinking thinking because I've got another thing to look forward to, right? The horse needs me, and it's a continuous cycle, you know,
Yep.
and that it is about the journey. And the journey can be hard and it can be hard to figure out, but it's a stop and smell the roses kind of moment, you
Mm.
know? You are figuring it out, and it can
Yeah.
be sometimes crap, and you're never given instructions from A to B. You know where A is, and you'll know where B is, but you will never know what the middle bit is. And
Mm.
that lesson is a journey, and I think
Yep.
one that maybe should be valued is what
Yep.
I'm getting from both of you. So like, I
Yeah. And I
correlate
think
each
just,
episode. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. And, in that process, you can sit there and get really negative about everything, or you can just trust the process and, and yourself and your ability to get through stuff, and to be positive. Sometimes it's a choice to be positive because
Yeah.
we all have that negative voice in our head that utters the words we that don't help us, and that we got to minimize that voice and have the other voice in your head saying, you know what, you
Mhm.
can do this. This is 100%. This is 100% this direction. And if I don't do that today, you know, and you put a score on it yourself, and like, will I feel like a 10, or will I feel like an 8, or will I feel like a 7? And if I'm happy with the 7, then that's okay. But you want to feel like a 10 as much as you can, as far
As
as
much as
health and
possible.
exercise and all that sort of stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
And to reach those goals, those little increments, get that little bit more, that little bit further, and before you know it, you're way further than you were through that process. And it's just, don't
Mhm.
rush it. It is what it is. Do what you can do, and then the day will come when you can do more, and you can do more and more, and you just like, and especially like losing stamina and stuff like that. I was just saying to my coach the other day, I said, now I've got that stamina that I can like do things and not be completely exhausted,
Yeah.
um, in that, in that moment. So like I can now, get home and not actually lay on the floor and die after I've ridden, because I've put everything into it, you know. So yeah, it is a process, and enjoy it, good or bad.
Yeah. I'm
You're doing it. We're not
Sharon.
living in a. We're not when we're able. We're so able bodied. It's not funny. Other parts of your body will pick up and take over,
They
and
do. Do you know who? Like, I think because you've been learning a little bit about EDS, right? I've been learning a bit more about EDS recently because I've just got diagnosed in June. Been fighting it for a long time because I knew I had it, but I didn't really know the repercussions of it, right? So there are multiple stages to EDS. There's the hypermobile stage, there's the pain stage, and there's the stiff stage. I'm between pain and stiff at the minute. Um, and what happens is because I have lapsed joints, I have super tight muscles.
yeah,
And
right,
my hamstrings, my calves, my glutes is all that holds me together. There's
yeah,
no real pelvic floor there or anything because that's pretty much all connective tissue and it's
yeah,
super weak. I have now got to learn how to walk like a normal person, but I don't know how that's going to happen because my knees don't work anyway. And they're going to break both of them next year. So it's a fun all ride, but it's funny where even subconsciously, when you have an impairment, right? I hate the word, but it is how it is. That your body will subconsciously start thinking of ways to adapt around it.
100%.
You know, you know. For us, it's the locking of the knees, where you'll see literally like bent legs, like we've like got rickets or something.
Yeah.
But it's because we've hyperextended the joint to the point where it genuinely locks, and we can stand. Standing is quite nice when it works. But yeah, no, you're right. And I guess someone that has helped you adapt would be Sharon.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And other people who've travelled my path. I with my prosthetics, so to speak. No, they hadn't made one. In WA, they hadn't really made a riding leg. So I contacted Rodolfo Riscala on Instagram and asked him if he would send me some photos of his legs so that I can get them made.
I need to hook you up because the para hockey player can get legs made.
Yeah, I've got them made now.
Oh, you have them. Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, so he sent me photos of his and I had some made similar to his. I'm waiting on my left riding leg. I'll probably get that in January. So I'm just riding. I ended up getting just an ankle that I can lock into an ankles down position. So both my ankles can lock into a ankles down position. And that way, at least I'm not uneven. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That's a chihuahua in the background having a.
That's right. I've got a little gypsy.
The other one.
Mine's still in bed.
Stop. You two. No. I hate it now. Now I'm going to have to edit that bit out later. It's extra work for me. But Sharon got you back in the saddle after 10 weeks, didn't she?
Yeah. She was over when I actually was a bit naughty. She was over in the UK competing at Hartbury.
Was she at Hartbury? I was supposed to go to Hartbury.
Yeah, she was competing over there, and she says, "Don't jump on your horse till I get back." So 4 weeks after my amputation, I jumped back on my horse with my friend and my husband helping me get on, and sent her a video of me riding. And she's like, "Oh, you're a bull at a gate." And I'm like, "Yeah, where do you reckon I get that from? I get that from you." So, so she definitely is a big helpful driver for me. That's for sure. And you need people like that. And, this is what I say to people. I said, we can't do this sport without people's help. So we need to.
I think coming from able-bodied sports, because I didn't know that I had a disability, just thought it was normal to be constantly dislocating your bones, very normal. But Michael Murphy's mum, Sue Murphy, she introduced me to all of PEI and everything. And do you know what? I really think there's a vast difference between the able-bodied equestrian community and the para-equestrian community. I think there's a huge, area, there's a void within the able-bodied where they're not so kind, not so helpful, do you know what I mean? Not so empathetic, not so understanding. Whereas us lot, fearless, brave, understanding, empathetic, super helpful, very generous. Do you know what I mean? We will do everything because we know what it's like. And it's called very difficult.
It's called acceptance. And I think that's one thing para riders have of each other without speaking. Like if you're a para rider, you're going to, and you're with other para riders, you're accepted for who you are. And I think that builds that camaraderie that we have, we all sort of, we all understand that something's going on with someone and, and that's okay. whereas, we understand the struggle that our other competitors or our teammates, I call them, get along, and you really need to, I just love that about parasport. I love that
I think
about
it's really
para-equestrian
important to
is that
be
camaraderie, the friendships you forge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like how happy I am when I see a friend, trot down that centre line and I know the story behind that centre line, trotting up that centre line and that journey that person's made to get up that centre line. It's not something that we take for granted because there might have been 7 centre lines we missed out on because of a disability or health or something like that. So when you're well enough to go and do it, you just
That's
really
thing.
embrace it.
People think that we're out there every day riding horses and everything. And there's some of us that when you can is when you can.
Yeah.
And that might not be for weeks at a time sometimes, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like,
that's why you appreciate it so much.
We still come up when we need to do a test or whatever, and we show out, we give it 110. I mean, we're going to live in a nice little coma away from society for the next few weeks, but it's fine. Smashed it,
Yep.
Did our job. So like talking about camaraderie, right? I'm keen to know what the Aussie riders are like. And just because I know that you're the riders rep, so I thought you can big up your teammates now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's one. There are no, I don't know whether you'll cut this out, but there are no assholes. Like there really isn't. And even everyone, like, even if there was, it wouldn't be accepted. They just, it would just, that all of them have their own story, that all of them are important and all of them, need validation, and, everyone helps each other. We just the diplomacy that we have around that, and taking someone's issue or problem seriously, and using good language around that for that person is really important, and not being like just dismissive,
negative Nelly. Somebody, I've got a friend. She calls them mood hoovers.
Pardon?
I have a friend who calls people like that mood hoovers.
Mood hoovers, yeah. I call them joy robbers, but
they come in and they suck up all the good vibes and they take them off with them.
Yes, yeah, and and I think that's important that we protect those good vibes. I think that's what our differentiator is in our sport, and that's why you've got to remember your why you do it, because if you remember the why you do it, you will continue to do it and do it in a happy way. Because I believe that, especially with people who have gone through trauma and all that, and I say this to people, that think of your most happiest, youngest memory, and that is who you are. When you got that anxiety or anything like that, just think of that. It might have been something that happened to you as a child. It might have been getting your dog for the first time. It might have been Christmas. It might have been a birthday. It might have been just sitting down with your parents or your brothers and sisters and feeling love. As a child, without any hang-ups that we have, that's who we are. We haven't got all this problems on top of ourselves. We haven't got rose-coloured glasses. We're just pure and who we are. So try and remember that's who you are deep down, and that's where your happiness comes from. Is that your puppy? Oh.
Every week. Oh, he loves this cookie. Do you know what he does? He throws it for himself. He's
Mine's
gone
got
up
out
on
of
the
bed
top,
now.
and then he just chucks across the room each side continuously for about an hour, and he will continue to do that while we chat. So I've taken the cookie away.
No. Mine's got out of bed now. She's here with
I
me.
probably heard of it. I love that though. Like, I think all the points that you made are hugely validated. Like, Vicky made a comment earlier on to say, "Oh, I love this one. She's like exactly like us. She's just dead on."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think it's, be real, keep to being who you are. Don't change for no one. Keep happy, be supportive, and, make sure, I advocate a lot for inclusion in sport for people with disabilities. And I find that my role, especially when able-bodied sports does not include all the para sports, or the para dressage. Like they'll go,
yeah,
there's times where I've gone, "Oh, can you run some para classes?" And they've like, "Oh, we don't do para." And you're like, "Why?" And then you find out they had three para judges there that day. So it's really, sometimes over here, it's like banging your head against a brick wall, or, 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards.
Over here for a couple of weeks and then throw you into a bunch of stuff over here.
Yeah, because I just think they're a little bit behind the 8 ball. So it's about training people that it's no different really. We look after ourselves, we manage it ourselves or with our support team, and I don't understand it. So big thing for me is inclusion in sport for people with disability and employment. That's what I sort of do it's what I try and do as a job now. I was actually one of the only bit fitters in Western Australia and had my own website and sold, horse bits. And so I spent a lot of time.
That was you. When I was doing research earlier on, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be presumptive and think it's her."
Yeah.
But looked like a really nice little business you had going.
Yeah. So, and it is a good little business. I haven't been sort of actively in it because I've been obviously unwell for a while and slowly getting back into it now. Yeah.
That's fab.
Mm.
It's funny, I can hook you up with a bitless bridal fitter when you come here. You can learn about that. Yeah. She's a para as well. She's a para endurance rider.
Yeah, I do bitless bridals and bridal fitting and all that as well. Yep. I there's a place for it, that's for sure.
Is this who you were talking to me about? Yes, it is. This is Suzin Wells. She's the 2-time national champion? One. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, you get 2 at some point. We're manifesting it. We're just manifesting it.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely be there. Yep, definitely be there.
So I have to, I seen the other day and I loved it. Your recent mode of transport, your magic carpet, and made me laugh so much.
Well, I didn't have my wheelchair, and like everyone was out in the lounge room and laughing. I was on the bed, and I said to my husband, "Oh, I can't be bothered like going out there because I walk around on my knees sometimes." Yeah. So I said, "If I jump on my dressing gown, will you drag me out to the lounge room?" So he's like, "Yeah, okay." So I went out there, and then we I thought it was
hilarious because you seem to laugh at barriers, right?
Yeah.
And make a joke of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fantastic mindset. I've been commented, a lot of my teammates are like, "Vicky, you're hilarious. Anytime something awful happens, you make a brilliant joke out of it." I said, "Well, what else would I do? Sit there and cry?"
Yeah, exactly.
Do that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And there is there is a lot of humour in our you know, and there's that humour where we can laugh at ourselves, and which enables us to, you know, laugh with each other, not at each other, but with each other about, you know, being disabled.
That level of spoony humour. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like where you share common issues between each other, and you take the piss out of it.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's a joyous little session when you get all your little disabled mates around each other. And I don't know, somebody's tripped and somebody's made a joke about tripping, and then somebody shared a fact when they went flying. It turns into a big old story, and like, you know, you're 4 cups of tea in and into a deep conversation where everybody's happy, you know, because we all validate each other.
And we accept it. It's acceptance.
We validate each other through humour. Do you know what I mean? You make a joke about it.
Yeah.
Like, and it builds.
And that is so that there is so precious to our sport, because it doesn't happen in the able-bodied sport where we do that. You know, that they will kick themselves, or we don't. You know, we can laugh at that, because you know what?
I like to think as well, Susan. I like to think that we're far more technical, because we have to think of everything before we get on the horse as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You might be missold because you're doing a test that's like a walk or just a trot. But, you know, some people earlier in their life could have done more movements. You know, I was at, I'd say, novice level before I turned para. I don't, because they won't grade me, because the IPC are ableist, and I share this in every episode. Make EDS classifiable, please. Thank you.
Yes.
That's my rant. But we have to genuinely think of all these things, like even down to the equipment that we're using, or the saddle.
Yeah, there's definitely that serious side to it as well. Like there's the game on phase of it, where the game's on and the competition's on, and you've really got to ultra focus and block out, you know, all that fluff and stuff until you walk back out that arena, and you can start, you know. But it's that it is game. There is game on, you know, 100%.
I've absolutely loved talking to you. I assumed it would be talking to like one of the cousins, because all my cousins are like you.
Yeah,
it's fine. But great, this is going to go nice and smooth, and it has. And it's been a real powerful conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, Paraful is a different kind of spirit where we embody beyond what people think we can do.
Yep.
Right? As it says that we are defying odds, and we redefine a constructor too.
Yep.
Right? Creating a little something. It's been phenomenal. And I can't thank you enough. And I'm really excited for this friendship to play on.
100%. I can see it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Madame down here in the comments is already booking flights, you know, I'm sure.
Yeah, that we'll have several cups of teas, buy some beers and some wine and some champagne, no doubt.
Oh.
But yeah,
Vicky said not to forget you. There are some questions. So Vicky asked, I'm going to get that question. She was asking about Piaf and Passage, and what are your thoughts on how to train it?
Well, get a good trainer, and remember it takes time, you know, and don't overdo it. Like don't over train the movement, you know, it just takes time.
I think for that one, because like I've done a little bit of liberty with Murphy because I needed my hip.
Yeah.
It's breaking it down and making sure that you're building the movement up.
Yes.
So I get them to pick all 4 legs up in a continuous
Yeah.
One leg, two legs, three legs, four, right?
Yep. Yep.
And then giving them cues either on their body or vocally for whatever leg that you want at the time, and
Yep.
separating off each one of them for them. Um, like PF, then it's getting the two legs on either side,
Yes.
doing this continuously, and we're
Yep.
not going anywhere, and we're not getting frustrating, and we're
Yep.
rewarding
Mm.
whilst we do it. I think in that moment, like, think when you're building up those building blocks, it's important to do the positive reinforcement. And that's the only time you'll see a tree come out or anything like that. And they
Yep.
get it when they've completed it. They do not get it for not completing it. You ignore that and then you reset essentially. You take
Yeah.
a nice
Yep.
little walk back and forth and you
Yep.
ask again.
Yep. Definitely
You
do it
know?
liberty, like yeah, off the horse as well. To start it off. That's how I've done it, and then just continue that way.
I think doing things at liberty allows them to process, lick and chew on it.
Yeah.
Oh, mum
Yeah.
wants me to do this. And then you get on the back of it and it's not blowing up because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I remember when you asked me for this, but we were not riding. We were on the ground,
Yeah, but you really need your horse really needs to have strong tummy muscles, and they've
Yeah, and
really got to be
it's
well
working
muscled
through
to
that.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
like they really
it's
need a
making
good.
sure all the little blocks are put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can crack on with Duster. He said, I can get a car first and then drive, and then I'll train
Yeah.
Duster to do all the fancy stuff. No problem. That's fine. That's my job. I taught Murphy in the end how to fist bump, and all the kids love it. They're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
They'll go over to Murphy and be like, Murphy, give me a fist bump. And he'll do it. And you can nearly see him wag his bum like a dog because he loves doing it for the kids. And the kids be like, yeah, Murphy, fist bump. And he'd be like, yeah, I did a fist bump.
How does he do
I
that?
did.
How does that work?
It was a positive reinforcement. I think he picked up something one of the days I was doing Liberty with him, and then he was just constantly pawing out, and I was thinking, oh, this is dangerous. If I have clients and they're most likely going to have a disability of some kind, I'm thinking, God no, this is an insurance liable right here. So I turned the pawing and would grab his foot
Yeah.
and bend it back and dump his knee.
Yeah.
And every time he did it, I just kept treats in my pocket. I'd be
Yeah.
like, fist bump. Oh, and he'd be like, oh, I'm not getting told off for pawing now. This is
Yeah.
great. This is brilliant. I'll fist bump you instead. So every time he wants something now, he fist bumps. But since he's been after with his trainer, because I wanted the kids to ride him, I wanted to do a bit of dressage. I wanted to be able to loan him out for other para kids
Yep.
that wanted to do para dressage.
Mm-hmm.
Not only would he, like do his EFL and earn his wage,
Yeah.
him then earning his free livery means that other riders can get him for free.
Yeah.
I remember when I was growing up, like I didn't have money, Suze.
Yeah.
I did not. I worked my arse off in a stables as a kid in the hopes I might get a lesson. In the absolute hopes I might get a lesson. I didn't own a horse until I was 30, and then sadly I had to put it down a year later. It was shite. But then we had Murphy. Murphy was just the bonus pony. He was the £200 pony. I thought, come on, it's £200, I'll buy it. Turns out to be fantastic. I love him. When they break my knees next year, I promised Emma that I would learn how to carriage drive with them. So I'm going to do some carriage trials with them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I am like a bullet gate too. We share that common problem. I don't know how to not do it. I need
Yes.
to find a way to do it safely. And
Yes.
considering I'm not going to be walking all of next year because they'll do one knee, then I'll wait 6 months and then they'll do the other knee.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's not
That
going to
sounds
last
like
long either.
that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. So I thought, carriage driving, safe.
Yeah.
Sit
100%.
in the thing. I'm not on the
Yep.
back of it. I
Yep.
don't have to worry that I have dodgy legs. Doesn't matter. Fine. And
Yep.
then when that moment is over, I'm going back to writing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I love it. I love that. I love that. That's how you're thinking. That's how champions think.
Right? I'm not
No, but it is. That's
thanking
100% how
I'm not
champions
out
think.
of the I'm not out of the community, right?
No.
I'm also learning about other para equestrian sports.
Yep.
I'm also securing my future then, should anything happen, right? And riding maybe becomes a no-go situation. I have something for the bygones. I've got something to do with the grandkids then. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep. And that's right. And that's what keeps you going. So, even though you're going to have, some difficulties with your knees, you've got a goal. You're going carriage riding, and that's that's the diversity. That's
And that's the
neurodiverse, and I just think that's the superpower. Really is, because that's how we get through and do what we do. All of us, everyone that is a para rider. So I think you're a champion,
thanks, mate.
absolute
Let's
champion.
hope let's hope we get some nice ribbons, rosettes, and a national
No, not even, not
qualification.
even,
So
not even, not even about
I'm
the
joking.
competing side of it. Just a champion at life in general, and to think that way, to not just like you're already thinking about how you can keep going and how you can keep doing it, how you're gonna, keep yourself sane through this situation that you're going to be put yourself in. That there is a champion effort, absolute champion
I
effort.
really appreciate that, Suze, because my life's a bit shite right now.
But yeah, own that.
Like we're in a hotel. This is a lovely Premier Inn. We're in temporary accommodation because my health declined, right?
Yep.
And it's having a rapid. The accommodation, the rent, or the place I was rented wasn't suitable. And for the past year, I've been on the living room floor on some cushions with like blankets or whatever to make a makeshift bed. We get evicted. We're here. It is how it is. And I started the Paraful podcast the second week of being homeless because I
Yep.
wanted something good to come out of a really shitty situation. And I
Yeah.
wanted to be able to have these conversations like we talked previously to this, you know, um, where we highlight these day-to-day issues because it's not just me that experiences things like this. A lot of disabled people do,
Yep.
you know. And I wanted to be as honest as I could and have other people have honest conversations
Yep.
to show it, right?
Yep.
Because you see all the guts and the glory when you go to competitions and whatnot, and everybody's preened and everybody's it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, we have this great it's fine attitude, right?
Yeah.
But people don't see this bit. I think it's really important. Um, and I love how candid and honest you've been, and I won't take the swear word out because that's my point of view.
Well, like there's, you're amazing because you haven't let that kill your vibe, like
Yeah,
you haven't, yeah, I just think you're a phenomenal person, and wow, I think, I really do want to meet you in person and have that
we
cup of tea.
will. We
100%.
will.
And,
Well,
you're always
or a few
welcome
glasses
to,
of champagne.
yeah, you girls come over here and have a visit, and you can stay at my place and we'll have horses, and don't worry.
Absolutely love that. Overdue a holiday.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and
Absolutely overdue a holiday.
yeah.
I'm gonna let you go because
Thank
it's
you.
now 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
It's been amazing laughter and spirit. It's a wrap for today's episode. I want to thank everybody that's come and joined us. Um, you've been fantastic. The support for para athletes is fantastic. Remember to use the code naynonsense.com para equestrian for 10% off some sweet goodies. Suzin, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
I'll be round for the beers at some point.
100%.
Until next week. Remember that you're powerful.
Yeah. Thank you, and sending you all so much love and healing and all those amazing things, and just keep doing it. Just keep going.
Yeah. Keep going. Go on. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye,
See you later. Thank you.
What a fun guest. Suzin can be followed Suzin Para Equestrian for her journey beyond the center line. Don't forget to go to naynonsense.com and at the till quote Para Equestrian for your 10% off. We will see you next week. Keep it powerful, fam.